Hi everyone, I'm Vikas Bandaru, working as Assistant Professor in Vidyajyoti Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. This is a continuation to our previous example on loops in C examples. We have previously seen the example like this. This is the implementation of the program which gives the output this using for loop. Now we are going to see another example which is an implementation of the same program using while loop. And if you have learned the syntax of the three different loops that are available in C, you might realize that this is the while loop, which is very much similar to for loop, provided their steps, their parts of the for loop, like the initialization is here, condition checking is here, and the variable update is here. The parts of the for loop have been shifted to different places in the case of while. The same program can be implemented using another loop that is available in C called do while, using this way. Here we are having a do statement in do block, and after do block we have this while condition checking, and update is at the same place as we have seen in while. So let's move on to compare the different loops that are do while and while. Just compare this do while and while, we can see that the code is very much similar. This is the part of while and this is the part of do while, and the code very much looks same. So let us try to analyze the output of the program. So here is our while program, as we have just seen. Let us run this program, and as you can see, it is asking enter n value just like it asked in for loop example. I'm giving 3, and the output is very much similar, the same output that we have got in for loop. I'm executing the same program again. Here I'm going to give another value, let us say 0. If I give 0, there should not be any do be word in my output at all. So let us see whether it gives the same output. Yes, it gives do, so that means there is no do be statement at all, and so we achieve the solution that we are expecting. Let us move to do while example. Here is a do while example of the same program. Let us run this program and see whether it is any different compared to while program. I'm giving 3, and the output is the same that we are expecting. Let us run it again, and I'm going to give a value 0, and we are expecting an output that it should not print do be. It should print only do. And you see this is a different output. This is the major difference between do while and while, or do while and for. Okay, so here comes the programs, and let us analyze, let us observe the output of both of these while and do while. See, the n, and when n is equal to 2, this is the output, n equal to 1, it is the same output, but when n is equal to 0, the output has changed. So basically, there is a disadvantage with do while. The problem with do while is that it it prints at least once. So an advice for all of you is that you should use for loop or while loop when you know the exact number of iterations you want to perform in a program. Do while loop has a completely different purpose. It has a completely different application. Let us have a look on one situation. Do while loop is used when there is at least one iteration to be performed. So let us take an example here. This is the example statement. I want some output, something like this. There is an ATM menu and it asks it. You can relate this example to the real world ATM system. When we go to an ATM system, we enter a PIN and then we choose whether to withdraw or whether to inquire the balance, or whether to print a statement or something like that. And at the end of our transaction, the ATM system asks whether you want to perform another transaction. And if you want to perform the another transaction, then you repeat. That means you go back. The ATM system asks the PIN again, and then if the PIN is satisfied, it goes again, asks the withdraw or balance, and so on. So in such type of system, we want something to be shown to the user at least once. Something should be performed at least once. And whenever such systems, whenever such problems arises, do while loop can be used to solve such situations. Implementing the example that we have seen just earlier into C program could look somewhat like this. Here, I have not implemented the part of the code which does the input validation or this pin value validation, as well as it does not go into the internal details of what happens when you when you choose withdraw, or what happens when you choose balance inquiry. For the meanwhile, for this particular program, to maintain the simplicity of the particular example, I'm just focusing more on the do while part here. So I'm enclosing all this data under this do while block. So this whole thing will be executed at least once. And after it asks this type of statement, like do you want to perform another transaction, the user have to enter a value 1 or 0. So if the user enters 1, the loop will continue. If the user enters any other value which is not 1, or maybe if he enters a 0, then the loop will stop. So there will be at least one execution in case of do while. The same code is implemented here in a C editor, C IDE, and I'm going to execute this program. As you can see, there is a menu and it is asking a pin, and as I'm not implementing the pin validation system, even though whatever pin I enter, no matter whether it is correct or wrong, it will be accepted. And so it is giving a menu again to choose 1 to withdraw, 2 to balance inquiry, and so on. And then it asks at the end of the transaction, it asks, do you want to perform another transaction? And if I give 1, the whole process that we have seen earlier will be repeated again. So as you can see, when I have given 1, it has repeated again. It is asking the pin again. I give something else, let us say this, and it repeats again. If I give a 0, then this loop should quit. So I'm giving a 0 and the execution stopped. Let us move a little further in a little advanced topic called nested loops. C language allows us to put one loop into another loop. This is called nesting of loops. When we see a loop inside another loop, that type of loops are called nested loops. So what is the purpose of using nesting in loops? It helps us solve problems better. It helps us do more repetitive tasks in much lesser time. Let us revisit our first example. This is the same example that we have solved for using for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So this problem can be solved in 2 different ways. One will be a way where that we have already seen, where every time we want to check a particular case, let us say if I want to check when n is equal to 3, if I want to check when n is equal to 2, if I want to check when n is equal to 0, every time I want to perform a checking of a particular case, I have to execute the program. This can be automated using nesting of loops. Let us see an example here. Here, as you can see, this part is the same answer for the result that we are expecting. The result that we were expecting was do, be, do, be, do. So if I give a value of n as 3, I will get this particular result. And this is the solution for that. And as you can observe, this part, the blue highlighted part, is a do while that we have seen earlier in one of the examples of, see, this is somewhat like this. So we are having a do, we are having a while, some part of it is enclosed here, so it will be repeated once and more. So somewhat like that. Somewhat like that you can observe here. So this part is a do while part, and this part is a for part that I need to be repeated every time when user selects 1 for the continuation. So as long as the user wants, this will be repeated. So let us go check this particular program in our C IDE. So as we can see, the enter n is asking very much similar to what we have seen all this time. I'm giving a value 3. It has given the result, and now it is asking, do you want to try again? I'm giving 1. I want to try again. So it asks the value again. This time I'm giving, let us say, 1. So it has given the exact result that I was expecting. Now I'm saying that I want to try again. And then this time I'm giving a 0. And it has given the result that I'm expecting. Now that I have tested all the cases of this particular program, I don't want to try anything more. So I just want to quit. And so I'm choosing 0 to stop execution. And here it goes. Thank you.